is far from over for the Nigerian Labour Congress in the matters of the new national minimum wage. In a bid to ensure compliance with the 2024 National Minimum Wage Amendment Act bill, which pegs the new minimum wage at 70,000 naira for workers, Labour is gearing up to meet with the state governments across the country. And the bill was passed by the Senate after President Bola Tinubu sent the new minimum wage to both chambers of the National Assembly for assent. A policy, they say, is only as good as its implementation. Don't you agree, Tunde?
Well, yes. For the very first time, a trend is opening up in Nigeria, and that is all stakeholders are being involved in the implementation of the new national minimum wage. In the past, when the president announced a minimum wage, they expect all the states to follow. But this time around, the state governors, Nigerian Governors Forum, they were part of the negotiations. They were part of the special committee set up by the president. And they all agree on a particular minimum wage. To that extent, now that the labor is even prepared to go and meet the governors state by state, any state that cannot pay, instead of sitting down somewhere and issuing instruction, any state that cannot pay or that can pay even more than that, it will give the NSC the window to actually pin the state governors down. Because right in Nigeria today, all the state governors are elected. Yes, we are calling it national minimum wage, but there's something that we have to know in Nigeria, that is the capacity of each of the 36 states of Nigeria is different from each other. So the capacity of each of the states will determine how far they can go. Good, the president said something. He said that because of the reality of the moment, he will suggest, he will present a bill to the National Assembly to ensure that the minimum wage is reviewed every 3 years. So if it is reviewed every 3 years, that is taking into cognizance the reality, economic reality of Nigeria today. So I salute the courage of the Congress, because initially before they met the president, they were saying that 250,000 naira or nothing. But now, probably some realities have set in. But I also want to implore the state governors, because it's very important. The head of all the states of Nigeria is the head of Nigeria as a country. Right. If 13 states in Nigeria are into strike every time, Nigeria is not okay. So let all the state governors faithfully and sincerely engage the NSC and tell them how they are going to pay this money. So far we have all agreed. There were negotiations for probably over 6 months, so that you don't have a situation during the military government that some states will have paid, some states will be agitating for years before they can pay that thing. So let the NSC, it's good that the NSC is going to meet the state government. Let the state governments to sit down and be realistic about what they can do. If it means putting down their expenses as per the realities of the moment, because it's very important. So let there be dialogue, and let there be reconciliation where there are differences here and there. There's no point Labour saying we are going to shut down anything they cannot pay. And there's no point for state governors to be saying that it's either they take 50,000 now or no. Now, we all know that there was a negotiation before 70,000 naira was arrived at. So that negotiation informed the decision of the president, and that probably informed why the National Assembly, for the very first time, they passed something that's in interest of Nigeria within a very short time, that they passed the bill. It's now waiting for the signature of Mr. President. But meanwhile, all the state governors should be engaged. The federal government definitely can pay the money, but the state governors should engage labor and be sincere about it, so that we don't have a retinue of industrial disputes all over the place.
Right. You know, we read something quite, quite critical in terms of the government being, will I say, willing and able to pay. But Chris, let me come to you on this, because even if at all this might be like, let's say, victory at last on the part of the labor leaders, workers rather in general, on the government giving in to their demands. But then again, some will begin to ask, wouldn't this have any impact, as it were, on the Nigerian economy in a long-term and short-term basis? What do you make of this?
Yes, I agree with you to a large extent. But fact remains that the way it is presently, Nigerians are going through one of the most excruciating pain ever. The prices of goods and services are hit the roof. It's not even hitting the roof. It has gone up the roof. Because once it will hit the roof, and that thing for it to get, it has gone up the roof. In fact, it's roofless. If
at all there's a term.
Yes, we're going to use that as a term. It's roofless. Because when you see that an average yam just want to buy of yam, You go to market. I say it every time I come here. We also give money for people to go to market. The average, you cannot get any tuber of yam for less than 5,000 naira now, no matter how small it is. And for a family of about 4 or 6, you can finish. One is one tuber. My boss said we know about. In fact, it's even worse when you have smaller children. When you have your
I was shocked yesterday when my wife told me that to get a tuber is 5,000 naira.
Yeah, it's the fact. That is the list. I said that is the list you can get. Some go as much as 7. I posted on my social.
Of 11,000.
Yes, I posted on my social media handle. Some people are telling me that they bought yam, a tuber of yam for 12,000 naira. That is yam. This 70,000 we are talking about cannot buy a bag of rice.
At all.
A bag of rice is about 79, 80, 85,000 naira. So even if the man buys a bag of rice, what will he use in eating it? Now, so those are the issues. But back to what we're discussing. I have my fears. And my fears is not with the federal government, but the state government. I will tell you that presently there are some states in Nigeria that have not paid 30,000 naira minimum wage. In fact, some are still paying the 18,000 naira that was approved over how many? Yes, some states. Even some states that you could never believe. Which is why some of them, the governors run and say, oh, we cannot, even the 62,000 that was being negotiated at that time, they cannot pay. And you ask yourself, what is wrong with our leaders? In the past 1 year, there is no state in Nigeria that have not earned more than 3 times what it used to earn. Before. From FAC. From federal allocation. And you ask yourself, what do they do with that money? So for me, the government, I agree, and I say, I will continue to say, it is not yet Uhuru. We cannot go home and sleep. No, it's not possible. I think that the governors forum, and that's why I've always asked what they discuss at that forum. Because it's just that it's an assembly of governors that just go to drink champagne. After drinking champagne, they crack joke and they leave. Nothing. I have not seen anything coming out of. Unlike the governors forum that we used to have in the past. There used to be a time within the governor forum that some state governors, like I think it was in KB, will come to Lagos and have some kind of partnership.
Yes.
A handshake across the Niger.
It produced lake rice.
Right.
You look at the advantages that certain areas have, which you think can be of interest to you. And in the areas of IGR, you also cross-fertilize it. Oh, Lagos, how are you doing? In as much as I know that my state is not as big as they, but how are you going about it? But most of them are not interested. All they are interested is to send their commissioners of finance to Abuja at the end of the month to go and collect that money. When they collect, they will house the one they want to say. They change some to dollars to keep and spend, and just think they're paying up salary. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his government through the AGF has done something novel with the local government autonomy. I was reading, I don't know how factual, I was seeing on social media some figures that were coming in last week. I don't know whether you saw those figures.
Yes.
Of those local governments.
Yes.
What some of these local government ordinarily we are supposed to.
They should have been taken.
Things have been taken. Some about 200 million. 250 million.
The
government just collect and just dash them 2 million.
2 million, 5 million. Go and pay.
But that one, I still have my own fear too. You know why? Don't say I'm a pessimist. For goodness sake, I'll be 57 years next month. So I'm old enough in Nigeria to know how the system works. The fact that the local government have made autonomous, both financially and otherwise, does not necessarily mean that these greedy governors will not put their eyes in the purse of those local governments. What I don't know is what can we do to be able to stop them from doing that? Is it in terms of law? Is it in terms of enactment of certain things? But back to this thing. Yes, 70,000 and the president, I'm sure within the next few days is going to attest to that. That was an agreement between the federal government, the state government, as well as organized private sector. And in all this, we have been talking of state government, we've been talking of federal government. Nobody is talking of organized sector. That is where we belong, yes. Private sector. Our employers, are they also listening? Are they ready to pay 70,000 naira minimum? So that is why I said, let us not feel that, oh, it's yet Uhuru. A lot needs to be done. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as this law is concerned, every governor will not have any. But let me even for crying out sake, how can paying salary be an achievement for a state governor? Should that be an achievement? How many people are in the civil service in the states? Let's even talk about that. They are still going to, all they will tell you, oh, we cannot pay that because we are still going to provide road, we are going to provide education, we are going to provide. Go to those states and see whether those things are in place. And they continue to tell you to tighten your belt when they are even losing their own agbada to even feel more. I will think that we should find a way, a more fundamental way of making sure that everybody that had a signature on this minimum wage pays it. And if it doesn't, probably, if any state, my own personal opinion, whether we're going to amend the law, any state that refuses to pay, probably from the FAC, maybe we'll find a way within the system where money will not be released to them. That is my personal opinion. Although we are in a federation, the federal government have no right to withhold them. But if you are part of this agreement, then it behoves on you that you must be able to pay them. We don't want to see a situation where people, 5 years down the line, after 5 years, after the approval of the last minimum wage, are still telling me that some states are still not paying 30,000. It's a fact. Go and do your first check. About 20-something states were mentioned. That is madness.
You know, this issue can be really, really touchy because this is when you're talking about the welfare of workers, and the government has done its own part. And from what Chris has said, the private sector, well, we do not know what
they've not told us. They've not told
their
us.
own side of the bargain. Yes, you know. Well, from your own perspective, Tunde, if we're talking about implementing this minimum wage law, this minimum wage bill, actually, how do you think it can be carried out such that all other workers, even in the informal sector, can also benefit from this new wage?
Well, you know, the Nigeria's economy is a kind of economy that devises logic and devises a clear-cut analysis, in the sense that there are SMEs in Nigeria, small and medium-sized industry in Nigeria, that when you look at them, there are some schools in Nigeria. You know, now, education, especially in the southern part of the country, 70% of students go to private schools now. And when you really look at that private school, you ask yourself, can this private school pay 30,000 naira? Because there are graduate teachers that are earning 15 or 20,000 naira. So I think I am not like Shivaola used to say something. Yes, it may not be applicable now, but it is more applicable that it is not the amount of money that people are holding that matters, but what that money can buy. I think government, like the president has been trying to do, should make sure that many other factors that people spend money on, the price comes down. Like if your children go to hospital, they should be able to access, at least from the age of 1 to probably 18, they should be able to access health care. Let all the governors, because all these things, that's what will make the 70,000 naira realistic. Right. In the real sense of the word, 70,000 naira is nothing. When we really look at today's economy, if you buy a tuber of yam for 5,000 naira and a bag of rice for 78,000 naira, and you have 3 families, talk less of those people who just left school, who have not got a job, and you attend an interview, 20 people attended that interview, and they are ready to take only 5, and they are offering them 50,000. Do you think they will reject? Not how many people can approach the NECA to tell them that, look, they are paying me. They say that if you cannot take it, you want to make noise, better go back. So I think what we need is that the government of Nigeria and all the state governors, they should just sit down and find ways of reassessing our economy. Yeah. And in such a way that if the economy is okay, if farmers can go to work, if there's electricity, if there's good road, all these things account for why the price of foodstuffs is very high. If in my village now, about maybe 10 kilometers to the town, and people plant yam, maize, they cannot take it to the town, how do you expect a glut in the market? So all these things are things that contribute to the price of essential. Because what the money can buy, I'm interested in. I'm not even interested in the figure. Yeah. If they pay 20,000 naira and you can live a good life out of the 20,000 naira, it means a lot. But when you pay 70,000 naira, and out of the 70,000 they give you, or 100,000 naira they give you, you cannot even feed well. Out of what is the meaning of the figure? I'm not interested in the figure, but I'm interested in the economy of the country. Let us diversify living wage. Let us diversify our economy. Yeah.
Let's quickly go on a very quick break. We'll have more discussion on this very issue. Just about 5 minutes more. Just stay with us. Welcome back. You're still on to Journalist Hangout, and we're discussing the labor issue with regards to the new minimum wage, where about 70,000 naira has now been agreed to for payment. But CKN, let's have your matter on this, because from the perspective of Tunde, he's saying that, a lot of things need to be in place. We need infrastructure and everything if we're to have the real value of 70,000 naira or any amount at all as it is. What do you make of this?
What actually Nigerians need is living wage, not minimum wage. There's a difference between living wage and minimum wage. Even if you are paid 200,000 naira monthly, and you still can't, the 200,000 naira can be able to fetch you anything in the market, that becomes a problem. If you understand what I mean. You take 200,000 naira and you are coming back from the market, you are just holding a nylon bag with nothing inside. There's a problem. What do we do? I said it here last week that we need to declare a revolution and emergency in the agriculture sector. Very key. Most of the things we eat in Nigeria are homegrown and home-based. Yam, cassava, beans, even rice. There's a Abakaliki rice now. What's that? Ofada rice now. And Cross River State, in Cross River, you get rice. It's a part of Cross River. Kebbi, also. Yes. Even Abia. I remember one time I was taking a tour of Abia State, some part of Abia State. I was shocked that they were growing rice in Abia State. Beans you get in the north. Onions you get. Yam, Boku in Benue State. I've lived in, I remember when my dad was working in Benue. There's a place called Yandave, Buku, all those areas. When I was small, I remember that. If you see the yam that come from Benue, it's not this type we're eating here. In Abakaliki, apart from the rice, they grew yam. It's in Abakaliki, I saw a tuber of yam that is as big as myself.
Really?
It's true, yes. I'm telling you. That's cassava everywhere. But the fact is that, one, are we addressing the basic issues? One, the issue of security. Most of the farmers cannot go back to the farm because of insecurity. You see what is happening in Plateau State. You see what is happening in Taraba. You see what is happening in Benue State. That is fundamental. Two, even when they get these products, bringing it to town becomes a problem. Transportation is a problem. Since the removal of oil subsidy, transportation has hit the roof. I was talking of you, I said it's out of the roof. Because you had an increase in transportation that is over 300%. That in itself adds to the prices. Before you bring something from the north to the south, you know how much they have to be paid. The roads are bad. Then the most fundamental one is our brothers and sisters who stand at the road. We're gone. They're supposed to be protecting us, but collecting their own dues. When you aggregate all this together, then we have fundamental issues.
So in a nutshell.
So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that we have to be able to engage more in making sure that we put more money in agriculture so Nigerians can be able to feed themselves. We are too rich to be poor. That's a fact.
And we are too rich to be poor. I'd like to leave it at that.